it's Marina from the Butterfly Effect. This reading is mainly a general reading, but Cancer has come through on the dice. Obviously, if you're not new to my channel, I haven't been on my channel for about a year and a half, maybe longer in fact, so welcome back if you're still subscribed. Welcome if you're new. So I have laid out the cards because I did do a trial run to check my setup and whatnot, and honestly the shuffling is super loud and it was annoying, so I thought I would just lay the cards out. So yes, it is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But on the dice we had Cancer, Mars and the 4th house. So the crux of this reading is the 4th house, and I do have the home card at the base of the deck. Now that can relate to just property, your home situation, family matters. I'm feeling that because I do have a few nods to work as well, this is more about deeply personal matters with the 4th house. It is, you know, what's hidden. It's our, you know, deepest, darkest self. And I do have a masculine and a feminine energy coming through here, and they're knighting one another as well. With Mars being here, it can say that there's maybe some anger in terms of our household situation or who we're living with, or with our family, but it can be about taking some sort of action on those fronts, maybe having a lot of energy, maybe some goals in that respect. There's kind of like an urge, and it can be an urge sometimes to if we feel endangered in any way, we have a real drive to protect ourselves. There is a feeling, certainly from this feminine energy, of kind of discomfort, really. I mean, she does have the bouquet, which is a beautiful card of gifts, invitations, pleasure, sometimes luck. But there is, it's not necessarily an avoidance of something. With the womb coming through, it can represent the mother. But the womb is where we feel safe and secure, and it's also about, you know, it can be about love, but it's about nesting in the main. And with the shadow here and Thanatos, it just feels like it's very unsettling. With the shadow, that it's about something uncomfortable that we don't really want to face, and something unwelcome at the very least. And Thanatos is about facing something down that again can be quite unpleasant, but it can also be a form of grieving, maybe kind of fearing old age, or facing unpleasant truths. But I feel there's some sort of change. We have got the stork up here, there's some sort of change, but in the main for this feminine energy, the change is a fluctuation of emotions. With the moon we have mysticism, but it's in reverse, and then we have instinct in the upright. So it's almost like, yeah, I was going to say we don't know our arse from our elbow, but it's not that simple. It's almost like it's something sort of intangible, a feeling of unsettledness. Yeah, it can be very introspective, maybe a little bit withdrawn. I do feel these two, especially this man in the moon card, is a feeling of a lot of deep thinking going on, and we almost feel instinctually that we know what to do. But I think whatever that answer is, and we do have an answer coming through here, and it's either something we're working very hard on, or it is in relation to work. I don't actually know if it's a job or it's just our security, our stability. There's just a feeling that we kind of grasp it, we know what we're going to do, and then we backtrack a bit because we're having to face something that's maybe a little bit unpleasant. And, you know, accepting an enormous change. This can be like an empty nest syndrome for some people with the womb and Thanatos. It can also be fertility issues as well coming through there. There's a conversation coming up basically, and if it's not about work, the anchor is my work card, my 9 to 5. It's a conversation around where we feel secure, where we feel safe, but it can also say that we feel stuck. The anchor is a card of, you know, being fixed, rigid in one position. So it's one of the two, and I don't think it's either pleasant conversation. It may just be thoughts, but I do think it's a conversation because I do have it with my bittersweet card, and that's a feeling of a bit of a consolation prize. We haven't really got what we'd hope for. We're settling in some way, or we have settled in some way, but as I say, there is a feeling generally that of unsettledness. and fluctuating emotions, or somebody may actually want to move house, move area, move neighbourhood, move job, you know, separate from someone indeed, because this couple are knighting one another. And I ask for their connection. I do get the Three of Swords in reverse and the High Priestess in reverse. So, I mean, this can be some sort of forgiveness or a healing conversation that needs to happen. But I sort of feel that things aren't where the either party would hope they would be. Let's have a look at this chap. So he also has the anchor. I've got two anchors coming through here. And this acceptance is also sort of feeling that you haven't got what you'd hoped for. You didn't get the whole pie. So this can be somebody who is very fixed, very rigid. It can be somebody you work with the anchor coming through. Or this is someone in relation to their job, how they feel. And he's got the desert in reverse and the fault line in reverse. The fault line is, in its upright, is really about just that, you know, the cracks are beginning to show. There's inevitably going to be some sort of split or enormous change here. It can't be stopped. When it's in reverse, it can mean we're kind of in denial. I've got a feeling of sort of denial and possible avoidance over here, and quite similar up here as well. So, but this is someone who feels isolated or in some way without, not included with the desert. Again, it's in reverse, so this is somebody who feels disorientated. But it's a very precarious situation, this combination of cards. And I feel with complacency in reverse, it's saying that somebody needs to take some sort of action here with Mars coming through in relation to whatever this is. Fourth house matters mainly. There is some sort of uncertainty, doubt, suspicion in terms of work, either what somebody does for work, how they just feel about the work. It may just be an unsettled atmosphere. But the workaholic doesn't need to be just the job. It's literally just what we're focused on, what we're in pursuit of. And again, it's up and down. But we do get the key. The key is a really beautiful card of things opening up, getting answers, resolutions. It's incredibly positive. There's some sort of meeting coming up here. Again, it can be a kind of work type conversation. But with the fox, my sort of manipulative, I don't know what else I want to say about him. And the mice, I'm just getting, there's a feeling of loss here, of things kind of trickling away, you know, something not really happening. And there's some sort of action that needs to be taken with Mars here to whatever the situation is. The fox is a wee bit of a warning, but it basically means there's something wrong, there's something not right. And there might need to be some sort of meeting about that. So let's take a few more. So I don't know where you are in this scenario, if at all. But as I say, the connection between this masculine and feminine energy is one where I think they're either separated, or there's some sort of loss or heartbreak between them, or there's a conversation that needs to happen in terms of maybe resolving the situation, but certainly forgiveness. Tell me more about this relationship between the masculine and feminine energies here. So yeah, I mean, again, it's an avoidance that something is over with the Two of Swords coming in the upright, not prepared to look at something, not prepared to make a decision. And the Death card is sometimes trying to resurrect something that is already done, you know, past its sell-by date. Feel that we don't want to look at something that is at the very least suboptimal, but it may be something that has actually pretty much finished, and we can't really accept it over here because it's really, really uncomfortable. It feels almost very final if we were to look at this and deal with it. I do think this feminine, her instincts are there. I still kind of feel she's avoiding it. Tell me what action this feminine will take. On the floor. It's the Seven of Cups. We don't know. Doesn't know. Too many options. Too many castles in the sky. She may be kind of fantasizing. She has got a decision to make. Now this can be in relation to a child, because I do have the womb coming up here. Page of Pentacles in reverse can be bad money news or do have the bouquet. Two of Pentacles in the upright, so we're juggling money. We might be having some sleepless nights about this. We might be robbing Peter to pay Paul. I just feel that there's not any kind of firm decision here. As I say, that the emotion fluctuating, changing daily, hourly, is probably making it very difficult for this person to make any clear decisions, because it's going to have to mean facing an ultimate truth, a very uncomfortable truth with Thanatos. And tell me about this masculine energy. Why is he in this position? So he might be somebody who's a bit pissed off with the Knight of Swords, but this can be somebody who's sort of passive aggressive. So I do see some sort of argument and infighting here, maybe just some bickering, backstabbing. The Hierophant in verse can be about the dissolution of a marriage, a breaking of a commitment, but it's not going about things the right way. It's been a bit unorthodox in some way. This person just feels very, very stuck. Very, very stuck. Well, they both do, frankly. So where do we go from here? Because I just can't see much movement at all, but I've got Mars saying that there needs to be, we get a new beginning. So there's something new coming through. But it's delayed. It's not come through yet. See, I'm even moving my cards backwards. Isn't that funny? The sun, it's on its side. So we do have an enlightenment at the base of the deck with this house card. So it is sort of suggesting that, you know, things are going to become a bit clearer. It's just for whatever reason, not yet. It's going to need a wee bit of time to brew, or for some sort of acceptance to be. Six of Pentacles upright, Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Cups. So this is a bit going back to something. The Six of Pentacles is a very a nice card about kindness and benevolence and sharing things. It can be about some sort of payout here. But with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, the timing is in some way off. Or again, things are stuck. Things aren't moving the way they should be. And I just feel that there is something new. Maybe not taking it, or it's delayed. We do eventually have some sort of understanding, but it might mean that in some way we're choosing to go back to something. We're not leaving. I'm hearing Wolf of Wall Street. I ain't fucking leaving. So maybe somebody wants someone to leave and they're not doing it. Got the Empress on her side with the Knight of Cups. I mean, that's just kind of all over the place. I am getting this could be to do with, you know, there could be children in the mix, for example. Or it is a fertility issue, or I'm just dealing with someone who is a mother who has children or a child, and it's someone who's just not feeling in a great emotional space, or feeling very settled in their environment. And the Knight of Cups is somebody who's utterly unreliable, who will not follow through on whatever offer or promises he puts out there. So the argument may indeed be about money, property, finances. I'm not seeing any apologies coming through here. I mean, honestly, it's just a little bit, it's very, very messy. It's very, very messy. I don't think anyone's in a good headspace here. I don't think anyone's prepared to face uncomfortable truths. And it's going to take a minute before things change. So let me just take you some advice from the... Get the name of the deck. I don't even have all my decks yet, but anyway. What was that called? Is it just a Moon Oracle? Possibly. So, advice for this reading, for whoever this reading is resonating with. Too many. What advice can you offer? Yeah, because I do feel some sort of sadness. I do. I'll take the two of them. Take time to breathe out. Disseminating moon. A new start is coming on the new moon. We do have the new moon in Taurus coming up just this week. So have a look at which house Taurus is in your chart. That might help give you an idea what sort of new start. And we did have the Fool coming out. So we need a minute. But I do think there is going to be some sort of catalyst here. And I think there's going to have to be, because I don't really see anyone with a lot of energy or drive, even though that's what the dice is suggesting is required, with complacency in reverse, to maybe have some sort of meeting, confrontation, conversation, and get things out about how someone is feeling. Okay guys, that is my first reading back. Hopefully get round to a few more. I appreciate the people that have reached out to me, you know, just to say hello, and I'm still here. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.